There's a lot of great examples in the Bible of prayers, but one of the greatest is the Apostle Paul. Just a brief sampling of his prayers shows us a man who prays very different than we often do. For the Thessalonians, he prayed that God would make them worthy of their calling. That they would glorify the Lord Jesus and be glorified in Him, that they would increase and abound in love, and that God would establish their hearts as blameless and holy before God at the coming of Jesus. For the Colossian brethren, who Paul had never even met in person, he prayed unceasingly that they would be filled with spiritual knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that they too would walk worthy of the Lord, which is a high calling, that they would be fully pleasing, that they would bear fruit, and that they would be strengthened with all power according to God's glorious might. For the Philippian brethren, he prayed that they would abound in love and knowledge, and that they would approve what is excellent, that they would be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, to the glory of God. And in one of the most beautiful prayers, I believe, that is recorded in the Bible, in Ephesians 3, verse 14 through 19, Paul prays, "For this reason I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth is named, that according to the riches of His glory He may grant you to be strengthened with power through His Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may have strength to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge." In case we missed that, Paul has just prayed that by God's grace, the Ephesians would be able to know what is beyond knowledge. That's a pretty big prayer. And if that's not enough, he finishes that they would be filled with all the fullness of God. That's how Paul prayed.